Peru's wealth lies in the richness of its cultural diversity and in the majestic beauty of its natural landscapes. Peru's national system of protected areas seeks to harmonize environmental stewardship and protection of biological diversity with the country's economic and social development. To support these goals, the Amazon Conservation Association, a non-profit organization known locally as Asociación para la Conservación de la Cuenca Amazónica, or ACCA, supports initiatives that link the conservation of ecosystems and biodiversity with the well-being of local communities. Since ACCA's creation in 1999, we have been working hand in hand with the leadership of some of the country's most important protected areas, such as Manu National Park and the Machu Picchu Historical Sanctuary, contributing to the management of these areas and strengthening the skills of their staff and park guards.
Estamos trabajando de forma organizada con las.
We are working in an organized way with communities and institutions like ACCA and other allied institutions.
Otras instituciones aliadas.
We have trained community fire control brigades and have equipped them with the necessary tools.
También con todas las herramientas necesarias.
ACCA is working in coordination with the regional governments of the Peruvian states of Cusco and Madre de Dios to establish new regional conservation areas, which would help protect a landscape spanning over 1.7 million acres. In the state of Cusco, ACCA is directly supporting the creation of the Marcapata Camanti Regional Conservation Area by carrying out environmental and biodiversity evaluations. Another regional conservation area is Ausangate, where we are contributing to the preservation of one of the most important snow-capped Andean peaks, valued for its cultural importance and for being a source of fresh water for adjacent populations and communities throughout the region. In the state of Madre de Dios, we have been supporting the establishment of the Señor de la Cumbre Regional Conservation Area, located between the buffer zone of Tambopata National Reserve and Bawaja Sonene National Park. This area plays an important role as a biological corridor that allows endangered species such as black spider monkeys, ocelots, macaws, and others to move between the protected areas. In 2013, ACCA is planning to support the creation of a new regional conservation area called Urusaiwa Cochireni in the province of La Convención in the state of Cusco. ACCA will be carrying out biological evaluations of important wetlands, such as Huacarpay, Languilayo, and Cuatro Lagunas, or 4 lagoons, covering an area of 36,500 acres, in addition to Lake Huitoto in the state of Madre de Dios, covering 7,600 acres. ACCA also centers its work on providing direct technical support to local communities. Given requests from local residents, we have supported the creation of 2 important private conservation areas in the state of Cusco.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué cosas viste ahí arriba? Como siempre, oso.
Because they had seen their forest and freshwater resources shrink over recent decades, the inhabitants of the small community of Pilco Grande in Chayabamba, Paucartambo province, decided to conserve their communal forest, which is adjacent to Manu National Park. They sought ACCA support to negotiate with the Peruvian government for the recognition of a new conservation area. After many communal meetings, biological and environmental evaluations, and the preparation of the full technical file, in December 2010, they obtained the ministerial resolution recognizing their new private conservation area called Bosque de Pumataki, or Forest Where the Puma Sings. This forest is important to protect their water supply, which supports the community's subsistence farming.
ACCA has helped us quite a lot in the Pilco Grande community, and now other communities should also be called upon to conserve their forests, because that will help them, their children, and their grandchildren in the future.
Also, in December 2010, with the support of ACCA, another private conservation area was created in the name of Hapu Farming Community, part of the Queros Nation in the high Andes of Cusco. The area is called the Ucumari Yacta Forest, or the place where the bear lives, referring to the rare Andean spectacled bear. This new private conservation area, covering more than 46,000 acres, will conserve native flora and fauna while protecting the water supply for this community and many others downstream from them. In addition, this forest serves as an important carbon sink, helping to mitigate the effects of climate change. Another conservation strategy pioneered by ACCA is that of conservation concessions. Since 2011, in the district of Coxnipata in Cusco State, through the initiative of a group of young citizens, the children of timber harvesters who arrived in the area over 40 years ago, we have helped them to create the Young Conservationist Association of the Upper Pilcomayo, with the aim of establishing a conservation concession called Cosillo Yacta Cahuana, or the land the monkey watches from, on an area of government forest that would have been used for logging. In this new protected area, the group's conservation actions will benefit the biodiversity of their mountain forest and will maintain a clean source of water for the Coxnipata Valley.
ACCA has been helping us to formalize our group to be recognized by the government. They have also performed biological studies and helped us with trainings. They are also going to provide us with some funding to protect our concession, which will allow us to have forest rangers.
Since 2007 in Coxnipata, we have been working with the Queiros Huachiperi Native community, which, in 2006, was the first indigenous group to get formal recognition for a conservation concession. For more than 5 years now, ACCA has been supporting the Queiros in the management of their concession, called the Jaramba Queiros Huachiperi Ecological Reserve, and helping to finance the work of the community concession guards, while training and supplying them with equipment such as GPS devices and gear for their patrols. ACCA also funded the construction of an administration house for the concession, and is currently evaluating the cost of building a lodge for tourism, which could provide the necessary financial sustainability for the community's conservation activities.
That concession the Peruvian state granted us will generate benefits to the community thanks to tourism and research.
ACCA is also helping indigenous populations gain legal title to their ancestral territories as an effective way of securing the sustainable administration and use of the forest's natural resources. Since 2012, we have been working with the indigenous communities of Santa Rosa of Huacaria and Palotua Teparo of the Huachiperi and Matsigenka ethnic groups to protect the forests near their communities through territorial expansion, in which will also help to protect the vulnerable indigenous populations that still live in voluntary isolation or are in their initial phase of contact.
He says that now that there are no longer any invaders, he feels happy because he will be able to peacefully fish and hunt animals.
As part of its institutional conservation efforts, ACCA has managed to acquire 2 properties that harbor important ecosystem types in pristine state with great biological value. The Huayquecha Biological Station, situated in Coxnipata, between 7,500 and 9,900 feet above sea level, allows the visitors to appreciate 2 neighboring and contrasting ecosystems, the cloud forest and high Andean scrubland. Its cloud forests, or yungas, allow the storage and drainage of fresh water, which benefits populations that live along the river's banks downstream. At the biological station, conservation actions are being carried out, along with research, environmental education, and ecotourism activities. In addition, we are working to have the Peruvian government recognize the station as a private conservation area. In 2010, ACCA acquired the Villa Carmen estate in Coxnipata, which covers territories of the states of Cusco and Madre de Dios. A fraction of this estate is designated for research and sustainable agriculture, as well as for establishment of infrastructure for the development of conservation, research, ecotourism, and environmental education activities. The greater part of the estate is reserved for forest conservation, as it is an important biological corridor and refuge for species to migrate from their original territories to more favorable climatic zones due to climatic changes caused by global warming. Since 2001, ACCA has assumed responsibility for a conservation concession in the state of Madre de Dios called Los Amigos, which is protecting the important river basin. Also, adjacent to the concession, ACCA runs the Los Amigos Biological Station, where conservation, research, environmental education, and ecotourism activities are taking place, making it one of the Amazon's most important biological stations.
Gracias a la cooperación internacional.
Thanks to international cooperation and ACCA's work, we have been supporting the conservation of areas in the National Protected Area System, as well as areas that are initiatives of regional governments. At the same time, we are working directly with rural and indigenous communities to achieve the establishment of these conservation areas, and with some organized groups of inhabitants who want to conserve their forests. In this way, we are contributing to maintaining about 700,000 hectares of forests and wetlands, protecting these communities' natural resources for current and future use.
Para el aprovechamiento actual y futuro de sus recursos naturales.
May be menata